Hello there, my name is Linda Jo Martin, Book Lady on BookTube, and I'm here with another book organization video today. Let's start right here. I do 10 books per video in this book organization series. Well, 10 more or less. Sometimes I don't get the number exactly right. But basically what I'm doing is going through all my books to decide, what I have and where I'm going to put it, because I've been kind of disorganized. I moved and I left half my books in storage up in Idaho, and the other half, I don't know if it's really half. I have some with me, and most of them probably in Idaho. So still, this is the 4th video, so I've got at least 40, 50 books here, more than 50 books. So I'm going to keep going with this series for a while. And before I start, let me just show you something that I did recently. This may seem entirely unremarkable to you, but it's so much fun for me. This is a journal that I have, and I've been using ink in this journal, just both for writing and for creating pictures and page borders, and I just love page borders. So, I thought it might be fun if I actually read some of these memoirs to you. I might do that. Want to hear a memoir? Anyhow, this was done with these paintbrushes. No, I take it back. It was done with just this paintbrush. This is a Jack Richardson watercolor brush. Really like it. And with these inks, these are Noodler's inks. Shaw's Rose is this one, and this is Apache Sunset. Really pretty, I think. Anyhow, what I do for fun. And then I'm going to write more memoirs in these page borders. So, on with the book organization. Let's start with Agatha Christie. Like, a lot of people have read this book, and I read it a couple years ago, maybe last year or the year before. I really enjoyed it. If you can enjoy a murder mystery, I don't know, murder mysteries are kind of strange. This one, I did not guess who was the culprit, but yeah, Agatha Christie. Most people enjoy her books, so I'm putting that in my fiction box, books that I have already read. And here's another one I've already read, Foundation by Isaac Asimov. I am not a fan. I do like some science fiction, but Foundation was incredibly boring for 2 main reasons. First of all, there was no character development in this book. None whatsoever. We jumped from character to character, time period to time period, and it was, to me, incredibly boring. And there were no women in this book except for one at the end that was portrayed in a very negative light. So it's a man book, I guess, and I'm not a fan. I will never read the other 2. I won't put myself through that. And next, beautiful book, So Far from the Bamboo Grove by Yoko, Kawashima, Watkins, and this was recommended to me by booktuber Laura, and I liked it quite a lot. It is like a middle grade, young adult kind of book about a girl moving from Korea to Japan, and I would recommend that too. I liked it. So the next one I read, actually I read this one before I actually joined BookTube. I already had this BookTube channel, but I had not officially joined BookTube at the time that I read this. It is Where the Heart Is by Billy Letts, and this has been made into a movie. You may remember the story of a young girl who was deserted by her boyfriend, and she ended up having her baby in Walmart. Y'all remember that at all? So it was a pleasant little book. I wouldn't say it was literary or anything like that. It was just what I would call light reading. And then this one is more literary in nature. You probably know this book. Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. Read this one a couple of years ago because of BookTube. I've read so many books because of BookTube and because of doing the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge every year since 2016. Very much recommend this. It's about a woman, a black woman in Florida and her husbands and her relationships, and very interesting. So it's a classic. Let's get 5 more books. Okay, 5 more books. This one is Joanie. I had this book for years and years and years, and then I finally read it because of the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. Joanie, this is a memoir. It's a true story. Sad to say, she was a teenager and she jumped into a river or a lake or something and broke her neck and became a quadriplegic, and still very talented. I've seen her YouTube videos. She writes books. She is an artist. You can tell from the cover picture that's her creating a work of art. So a wonderful person. I guess this is a Christian book. She is a Christian, and she's just an inspirational person that I think it was worth reading her memoir. I guess this was her first memoir. I haven't read her other books, but yeah, beautiful, beautiful. The next book I have here is Wild Women, Wild Voices. Writing from Your Authentic Wildness by Judy Reeves. I got this because I really love her other book. Her other book is A Writer's Book of Days. I think I've bought that book 3 times, and now I've left my copy. I'm pretty sure it's up in Idaho. I might find it as I go through my books here, but I kind of think it's not here. So A Writer's Book of Days is like one of my favorite writing prompt and inspiration books. And so I'm reading her other book, Wild Women, Wild Voices, and this is like a current read. I need to put this over in my current reading box. Next we have Aromatherapy for Women. Now, why did I bring this? You know, I basically focused on bringing books that I either wanted to review or books I wanted to read. So I probably wanted to review this. I read this one so long ago, I can't even remember which year I read it. I'm going to say maybe 2003. I mean, a long time ago. And it's just basically beautifying and healing essences from flowers and herbs and how to use them. So I used to have a big interest in herbs and everything associated with them. And even now, you know, now that I've got land to grow things on, of course there's going to be some herbs. Forgive and Love Again. I read this one a couple of years ago because I had to forgive somebody, and it's healing wounded relationships. I put a review of this on BookTube a long time ago. I would say 2016, 2015, I'm not sure. And I wrote about it on my blog, and I don't know, I just want to make sure that I've reviewed it in all the places that I need to review it. Now, okay, I'm going to show you my spreadsheet, but first I'm going to do book number 10 for this video, which is this one, Guide to Rapid Revision. I am one of those people that has done a lot of NaNoWriMos, and I've written some novels that were not NaNoWriMo novels. In fact, the one that I do have published, River Girl, was not a NaNoWriMo novel. It was a side project, but I have done maybe 10 NaNoWriMos, and I finished every time, and let's just say I have a lot to revise. So this book is going with me everywhere until I have all my books in print, which may never happen, but got to keep trying. It's like one thing at a time. So I was going to tell you about my spreadsheet. As I go through these books, I'm putting them in different places according to what genre of book they are. Well, not really, more like category, because I'm putting the fiction in one place, fiction I've already read in another place, juvenile fiction in another place, and nonfiction in another place. And I have a separate place for my regional books and regional memoirs, which I seem to have quite a few of. And so that's kind of how I'm categorizing them at this time. And as I do this, I'm making sure on Goodreads that everything that I have that is not read will be in my Goodreads TBR list. And so I have that kind of work ahead of me. And then there's other places that I want to review. So I'm keeping a spreadsheet. This is my spreadsheet, and it shows the title, the author, the whether I've read it or not, what kind of media I have it in, whether it's a paperback or Kindle or whatever. And then it'll have a column for each place I want to review it. And so the columns that I have here are for Goodreads, YouTube, Amazon, and then blogs. I happen to be a blogger, so I have several blogs that I review books on, depending on what kind of book it is. So I want to go through my spreadsheet and make sure all the books that I've already read have been reviewed in all the places that I want to review them before I can actually give that book away. So I have some work ahead of me. This is just step one. And I thank you for coming along on this journey with me today. And we'll get back to you another time.